What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Roll the Dice Fantasy Podcast, Week 9 recap. Give me the same type of thing. We're just going to go through the games, recap, give our thoughts, takeaways, notable performances, tidbits, and whatnot. How you doing tonight, Lee?
I'm doing pretty good. I think there's one major point that we have to mention before we go into anything.
Our game of the week?
America's game of the week.
America's fantasy game of the week was played out in Week 9. Yeah, but I mean, Week 9, it was like it was a crazy fantasy day. A lot of points from a lot of players. But yeah, I mean, me and Liam, we had a battle. We should have had it like nationally televised or something.
They should have had our freaking matchup, whatever you want to call it, with the scoreboard.
They should have had it on Sports Center at the bottom.
Or like on Twitter where you can like click in at the top of it and like let's check in with the fantasy matchup.
But yeah, I mean, if I posted the screenshot on Twitter, it was just, I mean, it was a crazy matchup. Liam ended up taking the dub.
Thank you.
Because Kelsey,
ringing GM of the year.
Yeah, I'm getting knocked off my pedestal here, but Kelsey outplayed Godwin. That was kind of the deciding factor. So that sucks. But I mean, dude, you were 1-4, now you're right back in the thick of the race.
I just believe in my guys, and as soon as we got healthy, we put up points.
Yeah, a little MT action. He's back. Breeze had a great game. So, but we'll get into all that. We're gonna go back to Thursday. The COVID game. Both the Packers and the Niners, they were dealing with COVID going in. Rematch of the NFC Championship. Not really fair, though, because the Niners, they're decimated with injuries to a lot of star players. But the Packers, they came out, romped the Niners by 17. No. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
18. Yeah, I'm just an idiot. Yeah, they won by 18, 34-17.
No, it's 17. You're good.
Kind of expected.
Yeah. Especially with how bad San Francisco was hurting. You kind of expected this going in. But Packers, they were coming off a rough week last week, and they had to show their worth this game, and they came out and handed it to the 49ers. So
yeah, I mean, Rodgers came out, did his thing, 4 passing touchdowns, 153.2 passer rating. I don't know. I think 158 is perfect, but close to perfect. Aaron Jones was returning from his calf injury, so he was limited, but he saw 20 touches. So that's a pretty.
They're like going into the limited touches, barely going to see the ball. He comes out. I think he got the first 3 touches of the game.
The first 5-10 plays were him.
And the dude ended up just straight balling out the whole game. I mean, he only had 58 on the ground, but he still.
Yeah, I mean, he had and then he had 5 catches for 21 through the air. It didn't have any touchdowns, but I mean, that's a productive day. Oh shit! Dropping my phone. Yeah, that's a productive day for Jones. Devontae Adams continuing his dominance.
Absolute beast.
Just dominating the target share there. 12 targets, 10 catches, 173, and a touchdown. Valdez-Scantling on 4 targets, caught 2 touchdowns. One was a bomb too. That made up most of his yardage, but productive day from him as well.
Yeah, 50. I think there was a 52-yard catch.
Yeah, something crazy like that. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, nothing. And then on the Niners side, they didn't have Garoppolo, obviously. Mullins came in, did the best he could, but kind of figured it'd be a struggle. I guess the bright spot for the Niners is kid Richie James, 13 targets, 9 catches for 184 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I guess he's going to be the main waiver target for this week.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of fantasy, I think it was rough because you're expecting limited touches for Aaron Jones, so you're probably looking to start Williams, and they just keep feeding Aaron Jones all night, so that probably hurt a little bit. And then you just never know what you're getting with Mike Shanahan in their running game, and they were feeding McKinnon.
Yeah,
McKinnon's such a dual threat back because he could catch the ball, and I think that's why Shanahan kind of was leaning on him a little more. He did have 3 catches for 16 yards, but he's just a little more versatile, I guess, than Hasty. So it was a little disappointing if you picked up Hasty expecting him to do a little more damage this week,
Yeah.
especially because you just don't know what you're going to get and week to week with that running back spot.
Yeah, he's always yeah, he's kind of like, I guess, however he's feeling that day. It's kind of just like a rotation
Yeah,
of
feed the hot hand.
who leads from the backfield. Yeah, but it was McKinnon that this week. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it from this game, I would say.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Next up, the Falcons. They took down the Broncos 34-27. This was in Atlanta? Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Denver's looked all right. Atlanta has been struggling, but I think they're starting to put some stuff together. They're hurting a little bit because they still didn't have Ridley this week.
Yeah.
Everything's starting to, shape up for their offense. Todd Gurley's looking good. Julio, just another solid day. He had a tutty. How do you do receiving? 5 receptions, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. So, you get what you get from Julio. He's always going to be an option for Matt Ryan. I took the Falcons spread because Denver was the favorite in this game. No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
No, I think the Falcons were favored.
But
I would have taken Falcons money line. I'm pretty sure. I think I would stay away from the spread in this game.
Yeah. But it was just a typical Atlanta day where they're just spreading the ball around. Everybody looked good. And then on the other side of things, people know how I feel about Drew Lock, but it was good to finally see their key rookie get involved in Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
finally got that tutty. Really solid day, 7 receptions, 125 yards. So
yeah, and I know you've been high on Jeudy since we started doing this. I mean, he saw 14 targets, led the team. Obviously, great yardage. Added the touchdown. KJ Hamler, 10 targets, 6 catches, 75 yards. Solid day from him. And then on the Atlanta side too, this guy Olamide Zacchaeus, he had 4 catches for 103 and a touchdown. So Will stepped up in Ridley's absence. You would have liked to see Gage be a little more productive, but at that point, I guess you're just being picky. And Gurley, productive day on the ground. Obviously the main workhorse back for Atlanta.
Yep.
And Drew Lock, man. I mean, what else can you say?
I mean, he still had 313 yards, but
yeah, but it's Atlanta.
He was like 50% completions. The running game was atrocious, so I can't really fault the guy. I just don't like him. So,
they went pass heavy in this game. Lindsey only had 8 carries, Gordon only had 6. So yeah, not really much doing for Denver.
I mean, they fought back in the fourth. They had 21 points in the fourth quarter. But
I mean, the Falcons. I mean,
that's notorious Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. Yeah, that's Atlanta for you. Next game. This was actually a really good game. KC and Carolina. Carolina put up a great fight in this one, especially in Kansas City. I was expecting the Chiefs to just walk over them, but the Panthers. I mean, I gained some respect for them. They showed a lot of heart in this game.
This whole year, it's like just in the back of your head, like, Carolina isn't that bad. They're actually pretty decent. And,
yeah.
I mean, they're better than decent. They competed with
Super Bowl
second best team in the league.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. The big story here was Christian McCaffrey comes back off his injury from week 1.
Week 1, I think it was week 1 or 2. I think it was early.
And has a big fantasy day.
Monster day, yeah. The king was back.
Fantasy king does his thing.
Oh, a little rhyme there.
I didn't even try. But 18 attempts, 69 yards, touchdown on the ground. He also had 10 receptions for 80 yards, so that's where you got majority
Yeah,
of your points,
I mean,
especially
he's
in
the
PPR.
whenever he's in, man. I mean, you're guaranteed 5 to 10 points just from his catches alone, and then the yardage and the touchdowns. I mean, he's just a beast. Unfortunately, he did suffer. He did suffer another injury in this
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Banged up his shoulder. I didn't see it, but they said he was down for like several minutes, like he was in pain. So I think they might have said he's day to day, but I guess he's unlikely for this week for week 10. But we'll get into that in our preview show. But that's a shame because
Yeah.
obviously when he's
Especially
healthy,
after a big game like that, like it just like
they like
you
that.
have all that confidence and your guy goes down again. Like
Yeah, it's just I mean this whole year has just been crazy with injuries. Um, Robbie Anderson had 9 for 63. Curtis Samuel caught all 9 of his targets for 105 yards and a touchdown.
stepped up
He's
huge.
really hitting his stride these past
Yeah.
couple weeks. And I mean, early in the year he had no fantasy relevance, but now he's pushing into like high end wide receiver 3,
Yeah.
maybe even low end wide receiver 2, if he keeps this up. So I mean, good for him.
And that also falls on Teddy Heaven. He literally went shot for shot with Pat Mahomes the whole
He
night. They
made some
both
big
had
play. Yeah, he made some huge plays toward the end of the game too. Like,
uh, 36 for 49 with 310 yards. Like, come on,
yeah, it
the
was. I
the
mean,
dude came to play. So
he put the team on his back for sure. Um, and then Sly, man, he went for that long field goal again. Um, went off to the right, but I mean, we were talking about it when we were watching it. When you're from that far out, you got to put all your power into it, so you're not really trying to
he
direct
had the
it.
leg. He had the leg. It's just tough.
Yeah, dude, I mean that dude could boot it, man.
Dial it in. You know, would have
Um,
been sick. That would have been absolutely sick.
oh, that would have been crazy. I think it would have been an NFL. It was like 67 yards. I mean, it could have
It's
easily been
ridiculous.
an NFL record.
Yeah.
Um, and then on the Chiefs side, they're going to do their thing. Mahomes 4 passing touchdowns. Um, didn't have to run the ball a lot. So I mean, Allaire he had a receiving touchdown. And then Bell wasn't really used much. Tyreek Hill had 18 targets in this game, which is crazy. 9 for 113, 2 touchdowns, and then Kelsey obviously with a huge game, 10 for 159.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, the pattern that I'm seeing here is I'm just gonna rip the over every time the Chiefs play because they don't run the ball anymore. They legit
Yeah,
rely on. I mean, there's no issue with it. Obviously, you have the best quarterback probably in the league right now,
yeah, absolutely.
and your receiving core is just stupid. You could go
Yeah,
to
there's
your
so many
tight end.
weapons. It's like,
You got McCole Hardman. You got the Marcus Robinson. You got the Cheetah. Um, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is catching the ball.
yeah.
You don't need to. I mean, it's great if they're running well, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is obvious. I mean, to me, this is the most complete offense in the NFL. I mean, they just have so many weapons. And then if they can't throw the ball, then you have two very talented backs and Allaire and Bell that could get it done for you. So, and I think there's going to be games along the line where they're going to have to rely on the run game a little more.
yeah,
But yeah, like you said, when you have a guy like Mahomes, it's just like,
dish it out.
yeah.
You know, but really good game.
Yeah,
Probably
that was a really good game.
battle of the weekend.
That definitely surprised me. Next up, Detroit and Minnesota. Minnesota took this one 34-20, and yet again, it was the Dalvin Cook show. Dude can't be. I mean, dude, he just can't be stopped right now. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, he can't be stopped, and I think once again he scored every touchdown except one. Oh no, Irv Smith scored twice. I'm sorry.
Oh, Irv Smith had 2. Oh, nice. Yeah, and then Abdullah had 1, and then Cook had the 2 on the ground. But I'm pretty sure this would. I think this is Cook's second straight game with over 200 total yards.
And at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean it's. And I was saying this on Sunday too. I mean, now that he's back, I think they could easily make the playoffs at this point.
It's just the dynamic of an offense when your running back is running that well and he can also catch it opens up so many things, bro.
And like I've been saying, I mean, you take the pressure. I mean, Cousins he's definitely like a good enough quarterback, but I mean, you could take the pressure off him where he doesn't have to feel the brunt of it as much and he doesn't have to like make big time throws a lot. That's huge for this Vikings team, especially with a younger defense.
They have really good receivers too, and Thielen, obviously. Kyle Rudolph is a great tight end, and then Irv Smith came out, showed out 2 tutties.
Yeah.
It's just another option. And then Justin Jefferson, 3 receptions, 64 yards. So, if Kirk Cousins can, get figure it out a little bit for that passing game, then they're going to be a tough team to
Yeah,
see.
the sky's pretty much the limit. Especially after a rough start. I saw Zimmer's job was in question, and I was kind of like surprised. I was like, I mean, he's a good coach. Like, I'm sure they'll figure it out. And then once obviously Cook's back now, so they're
Yeah,
starting to fire on all
I saw
cylinders.
some tweeters like race to 1,000 yards. Dalvin Cook almost has 900 versus Derrick Henry, who almost has 900, but Dalvin Cook is doing it in one less of a game.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. He was the rushing leader last year, wasn't he? Or was it Henry? I think it was Henry last year. But I
Yeah.
mean, Cook's always up there.
Yeah.
He's just super efficient. And then on the Lions side, Stafford was dealing with COVID all week. He was virtual, but he tested negative, so he was able to play. Didn't have the best game. He had 1 passing touchdown, 2 picks. It was good to see DeAndre Swift. I mean, looking at the stat sheet, he handled the bulk of the work again. He had 16 touches for almost 100 scrimmage yards. So it's a good game for Swift. Should be good things for him moving forward. No Galladay for the Lions. So Danny Amendola, he saw 10 targets, 7 for 77. So it's a pretty efficient day for the slot guy. A lot of people were high on Marvin Hall coming into this one, just because he saw bulk of the targets after Galladay went out last week, but nothing really doing. He had 3 for 28. Marvin Jones caught the touchdown for the Lions. He had 3 for 43 to go with the touchdown. And then TJ Hockenson had a touchdown as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats, it looks like Stafford was spreading the ball around, but it's tough to keep up with Dalvin Cook. So, but when you don't have your star guy, you got to spread the ball around, and it's a tough team to beat, I guess, when they're feeling good and they got their guy running the ball down people's throats. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think if the Lions have Galladay in this one, I think they make it probably a little bit more of a fight, just because Galladay against that defense
for
probably
sure.
would have had I'm sure would have had a decent game. All right, next up, the Houston Texans. They get back in the win column, 27-25 over the Jags. Main storyline in this one was the rookie Jake Luton coming in for Minshew, who's battling injury problems with his hand. And we were saying it, like, rookies come in, they lock on, and he found his guy early on too, like 40 seconds in, he hits the bomb to Chark. And I mean, good for him. I mean, good for the Rook. So
he looked good, man. He looked really, really good. He looked comfortable.
yeah,
And I guess, when you hit that first big pass, it's just you have all the confidence in the world after that. So,
and I could say for all DJ Chark owners that this is probably like Minshew going out is like a blessing in disguise for Chark, because how many targets? Chark had 12 targets, led the team. The Jags already said they're probably going to stick with Luton for Week 10. So, and an up and down year for Chark. I'm sure his owners are rejoicing at that.
yeah, I mean, dude had a day, 146 yards, finds the end zone. So, something to be happy about for a lot of Chark owners.
Yep, and then on the ground, James Robinson, dude is just a beast, man. 25 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he's, especially being undrafted, like, he came out of nowhere this year.
He's a huge sleeper.
And like he can easily, he's handling 25 to 30 carries a game, and I mean, once he gets involved in the passing game, I mean, his ceiling is going to be stupid high.
Yeah, he's not that household name, but he's definitely making his name known now.
Yeah.
'Cause he just shows up, does his job, gets the yards, and he's been a force to reckon with every week. So,
And then on the Texans side, Deshaun Watson hit that 50-yard bonus twice. He hit Cooks for a 57-yarder and then Fuller for a 77-yarder. The two daggers there.
yeah,
Duke Johnson led the Texans in carries. He had 16 for 41. and a rushing score. He also added 4 catches for 32 through the air. David Johnson, he got hurt, right?
Yeah.
I think he's in the concussion protocol.
Yep.
I think it was confirmed he has a concussion too. So Duke Johnson steps in, filling that RB spot.
Yeah, I think the big thing of the week was what was going on with Will Fuller, because there was talks about him being traded to the Steelers, or
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
interested in him, and Deshaun has to be happy that he's sticking around because.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, if you're Watson, you're sitting back. I mean, they trade Hopkins and then they trade Fuller. It's like, what the fuck?
That's your guy.
Yeah, trading all my weapons, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Fuller, he's a beast. He caught all 5 of his targets, 100 yards on the touchdown. Brandon Cooks had 9 targets, only caught 3 of them, which is surprising. 83 yards. He added a touchdown as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you get out of Deshaun. He goes out and does his thing. It doesn't matter really who's got out there. He's still gonna ball out. Will Fuller showed up. Brandon Cooks, even though he caught 3 of them, he still gets 83, which is really, really nice. I mean, he had that bomb and he gets in the end zone. So it's kind of what you expect. This is a really better. It's a lot better of a Houston team than I think that they've been playing.
Yeah.
So they've had a disappointing season, but they look good. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously coming out of the bye, they probably, I'm sure, talked a lot of things out. After they went to 1-6, JJ Watt, I mean, he was pissed. He was saying like he doesn't want to rebuild, like he's not sure. Like, I mean, he was just mad. I mean, I would be too. So hopefully the Texans go on a little run here, but we shall see. Next up, Ravens and Indy. Ravens bounce back. They get a 24-10 win over the Colts. In Indianapolis.
Huge confidence boost for Baltimore, especially because the Colts have been looking so good lately.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it was important for the Ravens to win this game.
Oh, they needed it.
Probably not a must win, but probably like pretty close. Big storyline was Dez Bryant. He was activated from the practice squad on what was it, Saturday?
Yep.
He suited up. He didn't see a target. I don't even know if he saw the field. And then he was reverted back to the practice squad this week, but he could always just be activated whenever. But that was good to see. Big Dez fan. Would like to see him get some work in. Maybe they just want to have him practice a little bit, kind of build up a connection with Lamar. But I mean, they could definitely use help in the passing game. Because I mean, again, they won this game, but I mean, 10 total targets between their receivers, and then nine total targets with their tight ends. So
the more I look at all the stats, it's just more deceiving of a score line, because I really don't think the Ravens played that much better than the Colts did. I only remember like bits and pieces of the game, but it's just really surprising because the Colts have a really good defense. So you'd think people have been stopping Lamar Jackson with ease the past couple of weeks. You'd think they'd step up and figure it out. So
yeah,
little deceiving on the stat line. I mean, Lamar 170 yards, doesn't really look like there was anything significant receiving. Their running game, Lamar had 58, led the team in rushing. So I don't know, maybe there was something with the defense that I'm not catching here. I can't. They did score.
They did have the fumble recovery. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
the Ravens defense stepped up. But yeah, I mean, split carries between Dobbins and Edwards, 12 and 11. So I mean, they won this game on defense. And Lamar and the offense, just doing what they have to do.
Yeah, coasted
doing it when it matters.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Dez could definitely help that team moving forward, but we'll see. For the Colts, Wilkins again, leading out of the backfield. He had 11 carries to Jonathan Taylor's 6. But Jonathan Taylor snaked the touchdown. So
yeah, I mean that's a big difference for a lot of Jonathan Taylor owners, that touchdown, because he's been put on this kind of pedestal at the beginning of the year. Figured he'd be the number 1 back, but as the weeks go on, his touches get start to
Yeah,
dwindle.
Wilkins is just creeping in.
Yep.
And then receiving, I don't really like any of the Colts receivers just because of Phillip Rivers. But Marcus Johnson saw 7 targets. Michael Pittman saw 7 targets. Pascal saw 6. DeMichael Harris saw 4.
There's
Pittman
no
had
like
56
there's no
yards.
star significant guy that's going to go out and get those 100-yard games for you. To be
Yeah,
honest, Pittman maybe if he has a really good day. Zach Pascal, I mean,
hit
most
or
of these
miss.
receivers are like wide receiver threes.
Yeah,
If
yeah. And I mean, when the Colts signed Rivers, I kind of questioned it. I thought it was,
Yep.
not sure if it was the best route, but
No,
it is what it is.
no. If anything was going to win this game, it was defense, and obviously it showed for Baltimore.
For sure. Uh, Next up, Seahawks and Bills. High scoring game. Bills win by 10, 44-34. I said it in the preview. Josh Allen was going to come out and have a bounce back, and he certainly did. I mean, he put up numbers, man.
And then some.
Crazy.
31 for 38, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, sheesh.
Yeah, stupid bounce back.
Sheesh.
And I'm not sure how much of an effect it had, but maybe the time change for Seattle kind of messed him
Yeah,
up a
you're
little
saying
bit.
that. I think there might have been a little lag at the beginning of the game, especially because Seattle battled all the way towards the end. I think it was just really that first quarter that kind of hit them hard.
Yeah, I mean they were down by 21. They ended up making it a 10-point game. So
But once again, Josh Allen balls out, 415 yards in the air. He gets a rushing touchdown. Stephon Diggs goes out, catches 9 balls for 118. John Brown, really good wide receiver. He also almost eclipses the 100 mark. He gets 99 yards. Gabriel Davis, 4 catches for 70 yards. So he was slinging the thing around for sure.
yeah, I mean Diggs saw 12 targets. Brown saw 11. So I mean Brown's right up there with Diggs. I mean Brown's the wide receiver 2, right behind Diggs there. So I mean great day for the Bills. And then on the Seahawks side of things, Metcalf had a nice day. He had 7 for 108. He added the late touchdown, which is always good to see. I love DK. He's a
Absolute,
beast.
absolute
Yeah,
beast.
animal. DJ Dallas, he split carries with Travis Homer. Dallas did get the rushing touchdown, and Dallas went 2 for 8 through the air. Homer went 3 for 64 through the air.
Yeah,
No Carson, no Hyde. So
just something to keep an eye out because they could be back any day. I think Carson's still questionable, but with how
yeah,
they've
I'm
been
sure.
handling it, I think they're just trying to be safe about it. DJ has looked really good. The Homer looked pretty good, so
Yeah,
it's not like they're rushing anybody back into it. But it's a tough L for Seattle, especially because they have that slow start. But you expect really big games from them, especially because Russ is such a dominant quarterback and knows the game so well.
yeah.
They'll figure it out. I'm not gonna really think too much into this game, but
No,
Russ is
definitely
an
not.
MVP candidate. Seahawks, they're the Seahawks. I mean, obviously, there's a little issue of giving up 44 points in a game. So obviously, their defense hasn't been the same in the years past. But honestly, this was a shootout to the end. But Seahawks had a slow start, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I've been saying that too. I mean, Seattle. I mean, they're a great team, but I mean that defense could end up, I mean, biting them in the end.
Yep.
Because like I said, like they were just, I mean, earlier in the year, like first quarter of the year, they were just outscoring teams. Russ was playing out of his mind. But I mean, when Russ has a pedestrian sort of day, I mean, like what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Like start like the games like this are gonna happen.
Yep.
Um, so we'll see what happens with them moving forward. But obviously, still one of the better teams in the NFC. The Bills moved to 7-2, looking like a favorite there to win the AFC East. But that remains to be seen. We'll save that for another podcast. Next game, Bears Titans. Titans won this one by a touchdown, 24-17. I think pretty sure Derrick Henry, he had like an average day. Yeah, he had 68 on the ground. Obviously not a receiving back. So you would have liked to see more production from him, but Bears got a solid defense. So
Yeah, I mean, their dude AJ Brown is looking better and better every week.
yeah, he's a
He's
stud.
really
He's a
stepping
beast
up,
too.
kind of solidifying his role in this offense. Four catches, 101 yards, one touchdown. So it was good to see Tannehill. Has that guy to rely on to go out and get those yards, especially if Derrick Henry's kind of having that mediocre day that you're saying. So
Yeah,
that was a big performance out of him for sure.
yeah, no doubt. Titans went up 16-0 in this one, and then Bears got some garbage stuff. Darnell Mooney saw 11 targets, caught 5 of them for 43 yards. Allen Robinson caught 7 of 9 targets for 81. Anthony Miller saw 8 targets. I know a lot of people, some people were picking up Mooney this last week off waivers after that game against the Saints. So kind of followed up, didn't have a touchdown, but pretty
Still solid, pretty solid day.
yeah, decently productive. David Montgomery, 14 carries for 30 yards, added 3 catches for 12. I just can't really figure it out.
They're really struggling in the run game. I think it's partially due to their offensive line, but
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Bears offense is it's like all over the place.
I also think they should kind of see Mitch Trubisky a little more. I mean, Nick Foles threw 52 times. Threw the ball 52 times. He better get 335 yards when he's throwing it 52 times. Holy shit.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, I saw Matt Nagy after this game. He talking about like changing play calling duties and shit like that, like looking at all the options. So they're kind of a dumpster fire right now. They dropped to 5-4. Titans bounce back. They get to 6-2.
Yeah, I mean,
So
the Bears are just probably the worst 5-4 team they were 5-2.
Yeah, when they were 5-2, it was pretty clear to see that they were
Tennessee kind of just coasted in this game. I mean, Tannehill only threw the ball 21 times, 10 completions. So they kind of coasted.
Yeah, not much doing really.
Yeah.
Moving on, the Giants, man, I said it. They pick up the win over Washington by a field goal, 23-20. Danny Dimes had a passing touchdown.
You knew it was going to be one of those battles too, being that NFC divisional matchup too. But
yeah, no doubt.
They
Yeah,
got it done.
Big news out of this one: Kyle Allen suffered a season-ending knee injury, requires surgery. He's done. Alex Smith came in, looked great. Well, not great, but he looked all right. McLaurin caught 7 of 8 targets for 115 on a touchdown. He's a beast.
Baller.
Love trading for him. Cam Sims caught 3 of 4 for 110. We saw J.D. McKissick outpace Antonio Gibson in the receiving game, which is a little surprising.
Yeah, I mean that hurts me. I got Antonio Gibson, and
yeah.
I thought he would be a big addition, especially because he's such a dual threat. So it kind of hurts to see, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, stuff could change from week to week, but it looks like they're favoring McKissick right now, at least in the passing game.
Yep.
No Freeman again for the Giants, so Wayne Gallman took on most of the workload. He had 14 for 68 on the ground with a touchdown. Added 1 catch for 9 yards. And then Evan Ingram had a pretty nice game, 10 targets, 5 catches for 48, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean that dude. I said it before. He looks like a receiver playing tight end.
Yeah, he's got speed.
Super fast.
He's got wheels.
Super fast for a tight end.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
He's still big, but he looks like a damn receiver, and he's definitely a big option for Danny Dimes. So I'm sure he'll keep dialing it into him all season.
Yeah, in the past 3 weeks, he has 10.9, 12, and then 15.8. So he's slowly making his way into, making an argument to start him.
Yeah.
And then Sterling Shepard saw 8 targets, caught 6 for 39. Austin Mack caught 4 for 5 for 72. And that's about it. Try and squeak out the dub.
It was a really good game, especially big W for the G-men. So it's good to see.
Yes, sir. Next game, a photo finish. Donald was sweating. Raiders win 31-26. I feel bad for Herbert, man. This dude just can't catch a break. It's so
like
like
you feel bad for him, but the dude is a straight gamer.
yeah.
Dude.
I mean, he's gonna be really good. And for years to come. I mean, he's the future of that team. Obviously, he's their franchise quarterback. And he takes shots. I mean, he toward the end of the game, he took that shot. He was holding his knee, looked like he might be out, and then sits out of play, comes right back out for the next drive. Like you said, he's a gamer. Reminds me of like Burrow, kind of like with his tough. Like he's a tough dude as well.
Oh yeah, especially when you're given that opportunity. I think it's kind of like you take a hit if you could play through it. You're getting your ass back out there because you want to seize your opportunity. So
yeah,
he did, and he keeps showing
I mean, especially in the NFL, opportunities like that don't come around too often. So I mean, he's definitely making the most of it. Kalen Ballage, former Dolphin, had a really nice day, really productive, 15 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Added 2 catches for 15 yards. Joshua Kelly saw a bulk of the receiving work with 5 catches for 31. Monster day from Keenan Allen, 9 for 103 and a score. Mike Williams, keeping that consistency, 5 for 81 on 7 targets, which is good to see.
5 for 81. Probably should have caught a touchdown late.
Should have had a touchdown, but his body got like snapped in half.
It was a tough catch, but
yeah.
We were getting a little bit of shit, but
and on the Raiders side, Derek Carr had he only had 165 through the air. I don't see how many his attempts, but how many times he threw.
Derek Carr 13 for 23.
All right,
65 yards. Rougher day. Still able to get it done though. He's still finding Nelson Aguilar coming along nicely in this offense. Pretty big day from Hunter Renfrow. He was targeted 3 times, 2 big catches for 60 yards, and then Darren Waller, comes to play every week. Been kind of that go-to tight end for
Carr.
David Carr. So.
Yeah, I mean, he saw 10 targets. I still think he's probably the best receiving option on that team. But Carr hit Aguilar for the deep score. Then finds Waller in the red zone. Obviously, he's the main red zone target. And then that finish was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Chargers think they have it. They go to review. It's not dropped it.
Heartbreaking.
We've been saying it. We've been saying it too. The Raiders are just that tough team. They grind out games. They moved to 5-3 in the AFC West, so they're definitely still in the playoff conversation. Chargers dropped to 2-6. They drop another game, and then these Miami Dolphins, man, they go in Arizona. They beat Kyler Murray and the Cards, 34-31. That defense is still playing out of their fucking minds. Tua looked really good. I thought his escapability, his pocket awareness was impressive.
Some of his decisions, rookie suspect, but he did look a lot better. He finally got to air it out a little bit more. Threw the ball 28 times, so it was definitely a better showing from last week. He actually got to do some stuff rather than just be watching the defense do all the work for him. So it was good to see, especially for Dolphins fans, playing a tough Arizona team, and Kyler Murray is probably a future MVP. So this was a big matchup for them to go out and sneak a W.
Yeah, great. I mean, just great game for the Dolphins, and they're a huge surprise this year. They're 5-3 now in that AFC East. With the way the Pats are looking, Dolphins can maybe sneak in and grab a wild card. I mean,
the whole damn division.
I love Brian Flores. I think he's a great coach. They got something special going on down there. Jordan Howard, surprisingly, instead of 1 carry, 1 yard touchdown, it's 10 carries, 19 yards touchdown. So a little bit more work for him with Gaskin out.
Yeah.
So.
But he looked good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean he's when he was with Philly, he's just a tough runner, like north south. He'll get you those tough yards.
Yeah, and then receiving game, yeah, he spread the ball out around. Devontae Parker, 64 yards. Preston Williams, 60 with a tutty. Jakeem Grant, 35. Gesicki, 42. So he was definitely dishing the rock around. Gesicki,
yeah, he didn't latch on to one target. Like you said, spreading it around, gets the all important W. Kyler Murray still in the loss, had a great game. 3 passing scores. I think he added 1 on the ground. Yeah, he added a 12-yard run. Kept his team in it, but unfortunately they couldn't get it done in the end. Chase Edmonds saw a huge workload, 25 carries, 70 yards, and then 3 receptions and 18 yards through the air. D-Hop, surprisingly quiet, only 3 for 30. Christian Kirk steps up huge under those circumstances, 5 for 123 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this dude has just really stepped up in. I mean, when Hopkins is going to go out and do his thing, but even when he's not producing, he's out there. I mean, if you go back the last 3 games, he has a total of 5 touchdowns, and then the game before that, he didn't have a touchdown, but he had 78 yards. So he's become one of those receivers that could slide into a probably wide receiver 2 slot, especially if Kyler's targeting him a bunch.
Yeah, man, it's great to see. I mean, I think he's obviously got a lot of talent. He's got the vertical. He's got the speed. He's a vertical threat. Past 3 games, he's got over 20 fantasy points. So, like you said, wide receiver 2 play. And I think obviously when teams are putting most of their coverage on Hopkins, that opens up opportunities for other guys.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Christian
he's
Kirk.
taking advantage.
Larry Fitz had caught 4 or 5 targets for 54. The legend still churning.
Beast.
But yeah, I mean, go for the Dolphins, man. They just keep winning. Moving on to this game. Oh my god, this had my blood pressure through the roof. Pitt and Dallas. I think this is just it's a classic case of just playing down to your opponent.
Had to be.
I mean, you got Juju and Chase Claypool making TikToks and shit. So Juju, I mean, he put up a video before the game. He's dancing on. They dancing on the field, like super laid back. Like they went in there and they just thought they were gonna roll over this team.
Yeah.
And then they go down 13-0, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
I mean, once again, you get one of these guys that comes out. I don't know, Garrett Gilbert. Like, who the hell is that?
Garrett Gilbert. What a name.
Comes out and he's just putting points up on the undefeated team in the league.
On the Steelers on a top 3 defense.
I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
I was like stunned because this was our same gamer, wasn't it? Or no, we did it. Oh no, okay, so we did the Seahawks and Bills.
Yeah, and then I think we threw.
And then we crafted one for this. It was like Ben's pass. Yeah, it was something crazy.
Like Ben's passing, Juju's receiving.
Me and Donald panicked. We live bet the Steelers. They come back, they get it done. But I mean, this is a great game. I mean, credit to Dallas, sticking in there and battling. Obviously they rallied around fucking Gilbert. Better game for Zeke. No touchdown still, but a little bit more productive. He had 51 yards on the ground, 18 through the air. CeeDee Lamb back in the touchdown category. He fell off huge after Dak went down, but it's good to see him get some production back.
Yep. Amari Cooper, 5 for 67. Gallup, 3 for 36. Those are the big names.
Dalton Schultz, tight end, saw a healthy 7 targets, caught 4 for 48. And then on the Steelers side, saw a team-leading 13 targets, 8 for 69. Deontay Johnson, 10 targets, 6 for 77. Juju, 7 targets, 6 for 93 and a score. So I mean, Ben, he was spreading the ball around. He was playing on one leg at one point.
Yeah.
Great to see
I
him.
thought he left going into halftime, and then they got the ball back, and Mason Rudolph had to come in and play a series.
Yeah, yeah. He played a drive. And Donald's like freaking out on Ben. I'm like, dude, he's playing on one leg. Give him a break.
Yeah, he still gets it done.
Relax.
But Claypool's value keeps going up because he's getting he's leading the team in targets. So
Yeah.
ever
A
since
lot of
that
people
one
thought,
game, man.
yeah, a lot of people thought he was just like a one game wonder, but he's coming in and he's sticking around in that passing attack.
He's
Um,
versatile. They run the jet sweep with him too, so
yeah, I mean, you want to talk about an athlete. I mean, Claypool's up there as well.
definitely
Not a great day for Connor. 9
disappointing.
carries, 22 yards. I know we had his yardage. It was at like 50 something. Didn't hit, obviously.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing, but Steelers get the dub. They remain undefeated at 8-0. 2-game lead on the Ravens in the AFC North. So they're chugging along. And then we move to the Sunday night game, which was, you want to talk about a fucking beatdown. I mean, the Saints, and it was so funny because I don't know if you saw, I think I retweeted it. Um, Everyone picked the Bucks, like all the analysts. No one picked the Saints. And I
I'm,
didn't realize that until after the game because I didn't watch the pregame.
I don't know what these are experts. I
Everyone's
mean
high on the Bucks, man. They're
I'm
high
a
on Brady.
I'm a Brady guy, but
I know.
I said in the podcast, I like the Saints a lot, especially because the Breeze says he's playing. Michael Thomas comes back. They got um what's the other receiver that had a big day?
Uh,
That came back. Well, Callaway and then
Callaway, Sanders.
Sanders.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you not even question like, oh, the Saints could actually come out here and make this a game? I mean, they just absolutely stick it to them. And
yeah. I mean, I wonder.
everybody's out there, Brady's gonna lead the fantasy all-time fantasy points, blah blah blah. It's the touchdown leaders, all this crap, and then New Orleans comes out and says, you know what, f that, we're just gonna bury you. We're gonna put you 6 feet
I
under.
mean, that's really what it was. I mean, in all phases of the game, the Saints just fucking they just. I mean, it was like shocking. I mean, especially me as a Saints fan. Like, obviously, I expected like, hey, the Bucks are they got a bunch of weapons. It's gonna be a close game, divisional game. But I mean, I was like, what
The
the hell,
Saints
man?
used everybody they had.
I mean,
Everybody.
Taysom Hill, super productive. 54 rushing yards. Threw the ball a couple times,
Twice. Two completions, 2 for 2.
showing he could sling it. Um, Kamara didn't have to use him much. You keep him fresh. He had a rushing score, but I mean it's like just like so many. I mean Brees spread the ball around. I think he completed passes to like 12, something crazy, like 12 different receivers.
3, 4, 5,
Um,
6, 7,
Might
8,
be an NFL record.
12.
Yeah, 12 receivers. Um, I mean, yeah, it was just shocking. And it was just
You just
dominant.
don't know what the hell is going on in the mind of Tom Brady because he just looked god awful. I mean,
Very uncharacteristic too. Like especially in the pocket. Like usually he's great at he's one of the best at picking up the blitz, and like he just couldn't figure it out. I don't know what
couldn't
was
figure it
going on.
out. They were running route. He thought they were running routes that they should have been. Like you don't know.
Yeah,
You didn't know what the hell was going on. And
very
you're like,
uncharacteristic.
it's only the first quarter, and then the second quarter, the Saints just bury him again. You're like, all right, well now it's over. Um,
Yeah,
there's not Brady in the first quarter is like a lot of football left.
yeah. I mean, and then usually like in games like this, like the Saints were up 31-0 at half. So the second half, you'd expect to be like, oh, the Saints, they ease off a little bit, Bucks score some points, but I mean that just didn't happen.
Couldn't figure it out. Just couldn't.
Um, I mean, this is a statement win by the Saints. They take a firm grip on the NFC South.
Yep.
They own a potential tiebreaker now. This is just a huge win for the Saints. Yeah, I mean, just an awful game from Brady. Nothing doing for rushing. Evans' catches didn't come until after Lattimore left the game. Lattimore historically just locks down Evans. That's his father.
non-existent when Lattimore's out there. Just the guy
That's his
just
father, man.
not even on the field. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, Godwin was a letdown for me. I needed him to have a big game, but he only had 3 for 41. Yeah, just craziness. So the Bucks, they got some stuff to figure out. That's for sure.
Yep.
8B, his debut, caught 3 of 5 for 31. One of them was a really nice catch. So not really worried
He
about
looked
him.
good. He just there's some routes that I guess he was running incorrectly. Brady miscommunication. It is what it is, but he actually looked pretty good. So
Yeah. And I hope he goes down there. I hope he does well.
Absolutely.
Used to be, I mean, before he all of his shit went down, he was
You just gotta
top,
pray that
he
he's
was top of
not
the game.
an abuser and all the accusations are false because
Yeah, I actually saw news of that just before. I think the girl signed off on some documents, so I think they're gonna go to court at some point. And Arians has already come out and said that if he's found any sort of guilty, they're gonna cut ties with him.
bye.
So obviously that's a situation to monitor moving forward. And to round out week 9, Pats, man.
Oh my God.
The Pats, man.
What?
Jets nearly come out. They nearly get their first win. Nick Folk breaks their hearts in classic Jets fashion. But still, I mean, regardless of the score, it was a pretty good game from Cam. 274 through the air, 27 of 35, really efficient through the air. He added 2 rushing scores?
2 rushing tutties, yep.
I mean, you would have liked to see them come out and just obliterate the Jets, but
yeah, I mean, I think that kind of has to do with some of his weapons that he has. He doesn't really.
Yeah, they're waiting on Isaiah Ford. I guess he should play this week. The guy they got from Miami. No Edelman, no N'Keal Harry. So I mean, the Patriots, they win a game that they should have. If they lost this game, all the headlines and the news would have been
Bill Belichick would have just let go of their whole team and picked up people off
run the practice squad.
Yeah. I'm serious. I don't know what would happen, but
it would have been bad.
Squeeze it out.
It definitely would have been bad. Patriots still playing from behind in that division. As we mentioned, the Dolphins are 5-3. The Bills are 7-2, so they definitely have some work to do. Jacoby Myers, a huge game, 12 for 169. So good for him. Is he a rookie?
I think so.
Second season.
Okay.
So he steps up in the absence of some big receivers there. Yeah, I mean, just to grind it out.
Damian Harris looked good. He 14 attempts, 71 yards, really productive day. Rex Burkhead, 12 attempts, 56 yards. He breaks through, gets a tutty, and then Cam picks up the other 2 rushing touchdowns. So that was their offense. But then on the other side, Joe Flacco looked pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, he had 3 passing touchdowns. Great game from him.
3 passing touchdowns, 262 yards. Kind of getting everybody involved. Perriman, big day, 5 receptions, 101 yards. Mims, some big catches, 62 yards. Jameson Crowder, 2 catches, 26.
Frank Gore looked pretty good. I mean, for his age, 12
especially
early.
On the ground. Especially early in the game, he looked.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Ripped off a long run of 15 yards. But yeah, I mean, it's the Jets.
It's the Jets. It's going to be that typical New England, New York battle. Happy that they came.
And I was thinking today, I mean, you think it's worth it to just put $5 on the Jets every week to just because I don't think they're going to go. I don't think they're going to go winless. So there's going to be one week when they pick up a win, I think.
Yeah, and if anything, this gives them confidence because New England is just that powerhouse name. And if you're competing with New England, even though they kind of suck this year, it has to give you a little bit of a confidence boost. So,
yeah,
honestly,
I mean, obviously,
how many weeks are left? You throw $5 on the Jets? Hell, might as well. You're probably some money.
Next 2 weeks they got this week they have the Chargers, and I was going to say the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are actually playing good. But I mean, yeah, they're going to be heavy underdogs every week. So I mean, what's it, like $5 or $10? Hopefully just hit on their money line.
Well, I
Could be
think
worth it.
the big bet is who will lose the 0 first? The undefeated Steelers or
Oh,
that's and I would think I mean now it's tough. Now it's really tough.
now we're getting into some shit. Yeah.
I'd probably say the Steelers lose before. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's tough.
They got the Bengals and the Jags the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
you have to
then
look at the schedule, but yeah, that's
the
like
Jets,
the big
the
bet.
Jets, they get the Chargers this upcoming week, and then they get Dolphins, Raiders, Seahawks, Rams. So I think if there's any week they're going to win, it's going to be this week against the Chargers. But we'll see. It's definitely interesting to think about.
We'll see. Maybe we'll throw something up what our thoughts are with our bets and stuff. But
yeah. So that was week 9. Hopefully y'all got some dubs, put up some points. As always, check out the Twitter. It's at RTD Fantasy. We're starting to get more active. We're throwing up parlays. We're throwing up other. I know you threw up a golf article today. We're gonna try and cover like all areas of sports, not just football and fantasy. We want to keep it pretty open. So
yeah, enjoy the week of football, but big week for golf, Masters week. Um, Augusta in November should be a lot of fun to watch. So we threw something up. If you want to check it out? There's a lot of pretty good article about some plays betting wise that you could make on some sports books. But we're trying to diversify a little bit. So keep an eye out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, as always, check out the Twitter. My personal Twitter is at Andrew_Graz. Yours is at Lburn3.
Liam Burn 3. Yeah.
Oh, Lambert3. I always think it's Lburn. But yeah, check us out. The site is rollthedicefantasy.com. I'll probably have my week 10 rankings up on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. And then our preview hopefully go out on Friday. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the Twitter. As always, thank you for watching. We very much appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys soon.
Peace.
Peace.